Do you suffer from debilitating migraines? You know, that throbbing pain in the front or side of your head that's so severe you're unable to work or do anything other than retreat into a dark and quiet room? Have you had them for years and just haven't found a solution? Call Dr. Elizabeth Ebersol and put an end to your debilitating migraines forever. Or go to her website at www.handmadehealth.com. That's www.handmadehealth.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friday Night Glory Report. I'm here with my man, Kenny Matthews. I was just telling Kenny I've had like 4 hours of sleep the last 2 nights, and I call him Kenny Matthews.
All good. You got the first name right.
What?
I said you got the first name right. That's all that matters.
So anyway, we got a big show tonight. We got our man Tarrance Johnson joining us here in a minute, and then from the Texas Top Podcast Show, we got Marc Henry join us, formerly of Friday Night Glory. They'll be with us here in about 10 or 15 minutes. Right now, Kenny, let's talk about some of the big games this week. I mean, some of the districts are kind of starting to, you can see where they're going, and then some are still crazy because some, they got major games they got to play. But
and you got pod systems too, so that's the other wrinkle that's involved in this down the stretch too.
Right. Well, we talked about this earlier. Let's talk about that game that's not being played.
Aledo and Timberview.
Right. Timberview undefeated, and Aledo with a win over Lone Star this year, and their loss to Cedar Hill.
Right. I think with Timberview, I think it was a good measuring stick that we're going to thought that we're going to be, tomorrow night. Obviously it's going to get delayed now until the 14th because of COVID reasons, which, now that it's getting a little cooler, I wonder if we're going to have more of these upticks and these kind of things coming up as we go forward, because it's not going to get hotter. It's going to definitely get cooler now. But, I thought it was going to be a big measuring stick for Timberview. I had kind of circled Timberview as maybe being a surprise team at the beginning of the year. I wasn't quite sure. They had a lot of returning talent coming back, but the Mansfield district last year kind of was underwhelming to me a little bit last year. You can't be good every year. I think they had a lot of graduations, so I just wasn't quite sure of, if the competition was going to be as good, good enough to compete with Aledo. Obviously, I think that they can now, but I do think the one thing Aledo is they've proven over the years, when it's a big game, they seem 9 out of 10 times they rise to the occasion. So I thought that Timberview was going to have to play a really clean game to beat them, but it would have been nice to see it. But I guess we will still get to see it, not this Saturday, the following Saturday.
Right. No, you're right. That would have been. I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, but I think Parker would have liked to have seen that one. Oh, yeah. Her FNG intern.
I think that was one of the ones he wanted to go see.
Yeah.
So tell me about the games that are being played. What do you like?
Well, I was going to say maybe we should just go back to one game from last weekend, and I think it's very big, was the Denton Geyer at Prosper game last week.
Time.
Boy, what a great game that turned out to be. It lived up to the billing. Prosper's not letting, the media inside on the down because of COVID and everything, and I understand that. But boy, we would have been blessed with a great game. Prosper, Jackson Berry goes down and gets the score, but they missed the extra point. So it leaves that door open for Geyer. And here it is, your 3-year starter at quarterback. Eli Stowers with a great march downfield, converted a 4th down, and then 4th and 2 with no time left on the clock. He lowers the head in to get that touchdown, to get the tie. And then I was wondering, how nervous was that kicker when he was thinking, all right, they've tied it, and I've got to make this extra.
I was watching high school sports specials.
I was thinking the snapper and the holder and the kicker are probably the 3 most nervous guys now.
I got a funny story about that. So my senior year, our starting deep snapper, you know, could have played college. Could have gone on a college scholarship just on deep snapping, but nobody else could do it. Coach says, anybody else ever deep snap? I raised my hand. I'd done it in Little League, not thinking that I'm ever going to play. I'll be dang if he didn't get hurt the week before the first game.
Oh, man.
There I am out there deep snapping week 1. and I can't imagine that. I mean, I didn't really have any pressure snaps of that game, but that was a pressure snap.
I always think about that especially when your team comes from behind and has such a, exhilarating, you got 30 seconds to chain those emotions and concentrate on what you're doing. And, and that's a huge extra snap, the extra point that they obviously made. But I mean, Denton Geyer's been 2 of the best games of the year so far. Their game against Denton Ryan, only losing by 3, and then going on the road and beating Prosper. I think now it's Denton Geyer will probably win that district and be the #1 seed going forward. But it's a good test. You like to have these kind of games before you get to the playoffs. You really do. So you can know that you can fight some adversity and be able to fight through that and come out with a win, especially on the road. Yeah. Well, shoot, I guess we should talk about the game of the week, though, I guess, is number 6 ranked DeSoto against number 10th ranked in the state, Cedar Hill, this Friday. Wow. Yeah. I mean, these guys separated by just a few short miles. They see each other all the time, play against each other all the time, multiple sports. I did that True Buzz media event this summer, and that was a big thing between the DeSoto and the Cedar Hill and Duncanville. I have to add Duncanville to that now because they're in that district this year. And I mean, it's a load of talent, obviously, from both sides of the ball. I mean, it's ridiculous. The amount of speed that will be on that field this Friday night is unreal. It's sold out. I heard the very first hour that, the tickets were available through the schools. People were calling me on Monday asking if I had any contacts to try to get a ticket. I said, no. I said, I can't get my cell phone.
They responded to me. We've already had 27 requests. So we'll have to ask Tarrance when we see him here in a second if he got his credential.
Yeah, that's an amazing matchup, though. Yeah.
We should have already seen Cedar Hill and Allen. I mean, but that was canceled. Okay, and that would have been, we would have known what Cedar Hill has for sure coming in this thing. But Cedar Hill does have that, like we talked about in the very first, that quality win against Toledo. I mean,
yep, they sure do. They sure do. And they've got, SEC quarterback in Caden Salter that, obviously is played a lot of ball for the Cowboys. I mean, they for Cedar Hill, the Longhorns. I mean, he's been phenomenal. I mean, it's just, the back end, they have great secondary at Cedar Hill. It should just be really a test. I'm not expecting it to be a track meet. I really think that both defenses will pinch them a little bit. They're going to have to earn their points this week. I can easily see something like, 26, 23, something of that nature, some field goals, not getting TDs. But I don't expect this to be a 42-39 type game. I just don't see it. I think the defenses will be able to squeeze them enough for that. But, man, that's going to be a great game for sure.
What other ones you got that you like?
Well, I was sitting here thinking about, that game is huge because if whoever wins that game, because of the way they're doing this pod, they would play Duncanville next week, and whoever wins between that Duncanville and that game will get the #1 seed in that district. Yeah. So, I mean, that's, it's just another wrinkle in how things are going out this year a little bit, It's
a bigger game, too.
Yeah, it makes it a really, really huge game, I think, that in the fact that you don't want to lose this game and be the 3rd or the 4th seed, because it just, in terms of going in the playoffs and where you're matched up, you're going up against a district, you may be going up against, a pretty good team in that first round of the playoffs, a second team from another district. And that, it's just it's hard enough to win games, but you like to have at the beginning a couple of maybe that first or second game kind of get through and get your guys health and keep your guys healthy. You don't want dog fights from game one all the way through.
Yeah. There are a couple more matchups though this week that are first and second place teams, and I think one that's going to be good is Red Oak and Colleyville, and you covered Colleyville.
Yeah, Colleyville. Yeah, I really like Colleyville Heritage. Yes,
That's what I thought.
Colleyville Heritage. I thought they bounced back and they beat a real good Midlothian team last week, which I thought, them having that overtime win the week before, you might sometimes have that emotional letdown, but they gutted out a real good win last week. Braxton, Braxton Ash, their running back has played extremely well in the limited games that Colleyville Heritage has played. Isaac Sabay has played extremely well for them. Colleyville Heritage is kind of one of those, they're a sleeper because everybody else has played so many more games than they have so far. I mean, remember we talked a couple of weeks ago, they went a month in between games. They played Grapevine, their rival, the first game, and they went 4 weeks without playing because of cancellations in their own COVID situation that they had. So, yes, I think Colleyville Heritage won. If they can beat Red Oak and that two-headed monster at quarterback for Red Oak this week, which I'm not sold on their defense just yet, but I do think Red Oak will be able to score some points. So, that one I could see more of a track meet than the DeSoto Cedar Hill game. But I do have Colleyville Heritage winning that game. That's what I picked in the Fort Worth Star Telegram today.
I think I don't know if I was talking to you or Tarrance or maybe Parker when we were doing the scoreboard the other night, but I think this is the best Colleyville Heritage team I've seen, and I mean not that they haven't been good, but this is the same. I mean,
you got to remember this team got to the. This team got to the Final Four last year, and obviously they lost to a very, very, very good Geyer team. I mean, not Geyer. Was it Geyer? No, it wasn't Geyer. It was
Ryan.
Can't remember. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I think it might have been, but I was, they got to the either to the last 8 or the last 4 last year. But I think we were all kind of saying it on last year after that loss that, hey, they're going to be pretty good next year because they had a lot of those skill position players coming back, tight end. And obviously we've already said about Chabay and talked about Ash. So now that they've been able to kind of formulate this nice little groove here, yeah, they're going to be an extremely tough out.
Oh, I think so too. Because they're not just beating teams barely. They're putting it on some teams.
And the thing that they can do that most teams can't do, they can run the football, and that's huge in the playoffs when the weather changes. I mean, it's not every team's going to play in the Star at Jerry's world during the playoffs. You're going to have to play some outside games with the elements, and they're able to run the football the way they can. They run downhill, and that to me that does 2 things: keeps the offense off the field, but the other thing it does, it wears you down in the fourth quarter.
One other one that I think is interesting, and here's another school I think that has the best team since we've been doing this is Marcus, and they're playing Capel,
that's a good
4-1, only lost to Highland Park.
Yeah, I mean I think you brought up you've really brought up to me a sleeping giant that really nobody's talking about, even considering
one of the top quarterbacks in the country.
Got one of the top quarterbacks in the country, and Nussmeier. You've got great wide receiver in Stonavente that's going to, I believe, Stanford. I've been impressed with their defense. That's the other thing. Marcus has been one of those teams that likes to play shootouts, it seems like, the last couple of years. But, I mean, they held Flower Mountain, I believe, just 14 points a couple of weeks back. I know Flower Mountain's offense took a lot of hits to graduation last year, but
then it's still a 3 overtime game that you were at this week against Hebron. So I think that, I mean, it's, you're probably right. They may not be the most talented Marcus team in the last 3 or 4 years, but they're probably playing the best team ball that they've had in the last 3 or 4 years for certain. And it seems like they have truly bought in, to what's going on there. Having a top 3 quarterback in the country is not that's been there. It's his third year too, so he knows. I mean, same system.
That he's got about 40 starts under his belt. So I mean, that's not bad for a starting quarterback, and as good as and I think that you see the leadership coming out this year. I think that the first year, they had some problems with leadership on that team, but there's no question that this is Nussmeier's team this year. There's no question. He leads by example. He does everything on and off the field correctly. And that's a team, man, you see them in your way in the playoffs, boy, you better bring your hard hat and you better be able to score, because they could score with just about anybody here in the state of Texas for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, hey, let's bring Tarrance and Marc on. What do you say?
All righty.
Okay. Here they come. We got must be buffering. I see Marc. There we go. Here they come.
There you go.
Apologize, the internet. I'm not at my place right now, so the internet's a little slow here. So, what's up, Tarrance?
Oh, we're good.
We got Mark Henry joining us. You hear us, Tarrance?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Just wanted to make sure.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah. How y'all doing?
What's happening?
I can't call it. Live from my patio here.
Hey,
No Skyline shirt today?
No Skyline. Not today.
I'm surprised Randy didn't notice. I got my Texas Tech softball shirt on today.
Well, I can't see it. Or I would.
What you doing with that?
I've got mine out for tomorrow, though.
Yeah, I've got those softball girls. I got way too many Metroplex girls to play for that Texas Tech softball team. I have to rep them every now and then.
Oh, yeah. You do follow fast pitch there.
Let me unmute Mark.
Oh, man.
I don't know what's going on here. So, Tarrance, have you heard?
There we go. Have his camera on.
Yeah, Mark, can you turn your camera on? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I got to turn it on, don't I? This thing here, it's modern technology. So did you get back, Tarrance, about your credentials?
Yeah, just got that email. She like, I can't promise you the box. I say, as long as I get on the sideline, I'm cool with that.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Well, this thing's not
Is
letting
Adam
me.
here back?
Mark, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this. I don't know what the deal is.
Let's see. Let me look.
Say, maybe it's on that start
Well,
video.
I got it right there, but when I go over to try and undo it, something goes over it and it doesn't have me a choice.
It's just because he's from H-Town.
Ah! Hey, I'm ready to give you boys props, man. Big T called a couple weeks ago, and your boy Greg Hammer, I knew he was going to OU. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is just getting ridiculous, bro. I'm so frustrated with the Longhorns. It's ridiculous, dog. You know what I mean?
I told you
it's
that from the first time I met you.
Yeah, you told me.
About Texas and UT. I'm talking about years ago. We've been knowing each other about 5 years.
I know. Randy, you
like
want me to go out and come back in?
Do I? Yeah, you want to try that real quick?
Yeah, I can do that.
We could talk with Tarrance about his game from last week. Yeah.
Well, and you can talk about his game coming up, and then I'll work on Mark while y'all are talking. How's that?
Yep.
Yeah, I think last week is a wash.
Yeah, that was. There's not much to talk about on that game.
Was it?
42-10.
42-10. Yeah.
But in the beginning though, they did come like they wanted to play, so I give them that. But Too much Riley, too much time. Let's try this and let's try this. Let's try this and let's try this. Let's stick with this.
Well, my question would be to you, Tarrance, obviously they only gave up 10 points, but does the defense seem like it's starting to kind of gel a little bit and get a little bit better?
Yeah, it's starting to get nasty. Just like Highland Park defense, I believe, when I went Rockwall over them on the road. And, you know, when I first seen Highland Park, the defense kind of shaky, but I guess it just takes gelling. And yeah.
Much better.
Much better. Pursuit is crazy. Well, I know it was Keller, but.
And I was kind of thinking that the other day. They have that's number 44 before South Lake Carroll. Is it the defensive tackle or is he the linebacker? I think he's got a different name.
Deep tackle.
I can't remember, but he played really well in the Heat game that you and I had done that game, and I saw where he was actually an honorable mentioning him another time after the fact. So I felt like maybe you could kind of build that defense around somebody like him with the back end having Sinke. Yeah, Sinke.
Sinke is a stud. He come into his own because when I first seen him, he was kind of like gelling in, but he had a good game. The last game he had, they blitzed him, had a sack.
That's
he was in there. He was in there.
That from the interview. Yeah.
I'm like, when you gonna break one, man? I'm just waiting on that moment. You gonna get you one for the season.
And it seemed like they were able to run the football again too. So
Oh yeah, Owen. Yeah, they always going. He's a good hard runner. Breaks
Allen
the
is
second
really
level.
hard runner. And I always thought that I always thought South Lake Carroll was at their best when they're balanced. When they can really have the threat behind, the running and that where you can't just sit back and play the pass every time. That's when they seem to make their really deep runs in the playoffs, So it'll be interesting.
Brady Boyd went out.
Yeah.
R.J. McDonald stepped up. He's young too, so he got a little more growing, but they kept going to him in the corner.
Hey, you see me now?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. I like it. I like that background.
All right. That's my little nephew team, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to do a little something. But like he's in the 8th grade down in Houston. He'll be going to Klein Kane when he go to high school next year. But yes, I want to give you boys props. Congrats on being above me. No, but I'm saying I did watch OU a little bit last week. Like I heard you saying the defense might be coming around a little bit. I kind of agree. But they got Perkins back, number 7, I believe he is. But I think that running back though, I'm impressed with him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he reminds me of Eddie Lacy. You know what I'm saying? So
Alabama.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with the Packers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna kind of remind me of. So but yeah, I think I don't know how y'all feel. I'd be interested to know. I'm just not sold on Spencer Rattler, though, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's Kenny boy. I'm not either, but he played a damn good game.
Here's one thing. Y'all are used to these guys transferring in that are like,
thank you.
This guy's going
that's what Riley wants. That's what it's about. That's why people leave, Randy. They transfer because one thing I remember Riley said. He said, if you ain't scared of competition, come here. I don't care if you're 4, 5, 6, 7 star. You can be my starter. You see what he did. He took him out, but he put him back in. Yeah, he's going to get better.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just hate that he overthrows my Rambo when it's time to throw.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though, the way that offensive line played the first 4 games of the year, there wasn't anybody who was going to play really well behind that quarterback spot back then. I mean, they just
Chandler Morris would have.
Yeah.
No, the only thing I say that because his takeoff clock. Morris would have shoom first down. It's just in him. Not to say he better, but that was the only thing Spencer was lacking to me was the clock. He got the arm. It was just like, why you hesitating? Go, kid. Don't stand around there. Your season gonna be done.
Yeah. Well, I think I've watched all of those episodes of the Netflix show over and over and over, all 3 seasons. And I wasn't sold on him coming out of high school. I thought he didn't play, elite competition every week. Play him in Texas every week and see if he put up those numbers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my biggest thing.
Yeah. I don't think he would have. Yeah. He wouldn't have put up those numbers in Texas. I mean, I think he's a good kid and a good quarterback, maybe a little cocky, but you got to be that way. But, man, why did they give him what is Tanner Mordecai not doing that why is he still the backup?
He was hurt though in training camp.
Okay.
That's what hurt him. He was hurt in training camp. He didn't come back till like a couple days before the first game. So he missed the first 3 weeks. So that's him back.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I don't know. He got him with Jalen. I don't know what happened then. He brought Jalen up there and set Tanner down.
I will say that Mims is emerging though. You know what I'm saying?
He's a beast.
They got a nice receiving.
Oh my goodness. That's what I was.
He's a monster.
Y'all could hear me, I'm sure, yelling at the TV like, yeah, just let the best receiver in Texas college football history just run wide open. Nobody following.
Who was it?
Yeah.
Tech?
I mean, Tech last week, just wide open, dude. They didn't bump the dude or nothing. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it was that they didn't bump him. He's just that good.
No,
that's what I'm saying. He's not letting
around him.
That's what I'm saying. He's not letting them get hands on him at all, bro. I mean, he just released running by himself. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's more of an indictment if you think about it. The 3 best wide receivers in the state of Texas the last 2 years are not playing in the state of Texas. That's a problem. Garrett Wilson and Jen Smith being in Ohio State, and now Mims being at University of Oklahoma. That's where the first issues are coming in. You know, bro, got to keep those guys in state, man. This
kid made the sickest catch, almost the sickest catch, top 5 catch this year. Smith and Jigba in the back of the end zone, bro. I mean, Garrett Wilson. I mean, come on, dude. I'm just disgusted with it, bro. I mean, I'm sick and tired of losing these kids, man. You know, when you a fan, you know what I'm saying? So it's Tom Herman got to go. But I mean, Big T, you have been saying that, you know what I'm saying? And Kenny too, you know, whenever I talk to y'all or whatever, you know, but this dude got to go. He's losing the program, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna do nothing until they get him out of there, dude. So
that's a big job to fill. You're gonna have to really be a football guy to come to Texas and build a program.
Yeah.
Not just for the money.
Not just for the money and the prestige. Yeah,
that's what most of them do now. They for the money.
Right.
Yeah, well, he was fame chasing, you know, a little bit.
He was solid at Houston with the money, a little money.
Yeah, just like, you know what I'm saying, T, we was talking, I think he was talking last week over the weekend, you know, that he could have been the leader to bring University of Houston into the Big 12. Right. Like, I think they should be either SMU or Boise State. Those are the 3 teams to me that in this region close enough that could play on a level field with an Iowa State or Kansas State or somebody that's, you know, can challenge, you know, because Texas and Oklahoma, they're not playing SMU. They're not playing U of H. They're running from them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, you don't want to play them now.
Especially SMU.
Yeah, SMU gonna play some football.
I was about to say, Oklahoma's already played them twice. They got beat once.
SMU. What was that? On the Express.
So we got them last year, but the couple years before that, we didn't get them.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, it's crazy, man.
Going on the recruiting there in 2 years, I mean, they're going to be really solid in 2 years.
Samples, man.
Yeah.
Samples.
I do think the University of Houston gets a little shot in the arm, too, with Greg Ward playing as well as he is for the Philadelphia.
For Philadelphia, bro. He balling, man.
I really think that's huge when you're starting quarterback and move over to the wide receiver spot and be an effective wide receiver. I mean, you have to game plan now for Greg Ward where, you know, who would have thought that 3 years ago?
Well, I mean, he was that talented in high school coming out of John Tyler, man. It just, you know, I think he had his mind up that he wanted to be a quarterback. I think he wanted to be a quarterback, and they, you know, until he got to the pros, and they absolutely told him he was not going to be one. You know, if he'd have made the position change coming out of high school, he probably could have went somewhere else. You know what I mean? He was just that talented.
And that's what I was thinking. That's what I said. When you take 3 or 4 years, though, not playing the position, and then now you're learning on the fly 4 years later at the highest level, that shows you got some special talent, if you can pull it off. You know what I mean? And then basically be your number 1 or number 2 guy for the last 2 years, which, you know, I just didn't see that happening. I mean, it just doesn't – that generally doesn't go with just, you know, snap of the fingers. You know, quarterback, all of a sudden now you're a great wide receiver running routes.
That's how Texas do their quarterbacks.
Yes, exactly.
Everything else. These are high school teams, 3-time champions that never played a quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah. Receiver in their life.
It's starting to get sickening, dude. It's starting to get sickening.
You can take a wide receiver to a DB easily, but a quarterback, if he played that and you want to try to switch him out, make him a running back, a wide receiver,
yeah.
Not easy. Not easy.
Well, if they don't let Quentin Jackson go ahead and do his thing, I think he's gonna transfer too.
Well, where are you going this week, Mark?
You know what, dude? I've been doing everything online, man.
Okay.
I've been watching games at home. I got texting live. I got I tune into Channel 8, and I definitely been watching Matt do his thing for GPISD. So I've been tuning into those games, following that district pretty tough with Bowie and Martin playing this week. You got it. What I think about Katy, the big game down there is Katy Tompkins and Katy this week. That's going to be for the district title. You got Alabama commit, former UT commit again. Jalen, yeah, that's my guy, dude. I met Jalen when he was a sophomore, coming off a 3D, 4D campaign, and so I stay in touch with him. I bump into him at the 7-on-7 camps and stuff like over at Bullet. I think y'all,
right here this summer. Back in July.
Yeah. So I think that they're gonna take care of business this week against Katy. But Katy got two of the top corners in the country. Bobby Taylor is Under Armour All-American. Then you got Hunter Washington on the other side, which is, he's committed to Florida State. So they got a young sophomore quarterback, Caleb Koger, for Katy that's been directing the ship, so to speak. Katy's still two tight ends. They still 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust. But then they got the tight end swing. They got the tight end vertical route that they still throw at you. They got a big time tight end, Fernando Garza, 6'6", 245. Yeah, that's going to committed to A&M right now. So Katy's still a well-armed machine, but I think I'm betting on my guy Milroe. He's got this marked on his calendar. Sorry, you can get your camera and take a picture of it. I think Tompkins will come on out on top and win this district. This will be like the first loss for Katy if this happens in years. Kind of like Alito's district streak. Argyle. Teams like that. Den Ryan.
What's your prediction? You got a prediction?
Yeah. I got you 31-28. Tompkins come out on top of Katy.
I thought you were going that way.
Yeah. Well,
so Coach Roberts,
I got you, man.
Game.
Yeah, I can't go against my guy Milroe, man. Like I said, I've talked to him a couple times in the last 6 months. Had him on the show, and he does his thing. I watched the film last week. They beat Terry 48-0. I mean, he was killing it, man. They got a couple of running backs, Marquise Shoulders and Sherman Smith, very speedy guys. But like I said, the difference is, I think, is going to be he's really focused this year on getting this done. You know what I'm saying? And the times that I talked to him, it's been on his mind all year.
And like we were talking earlier, anytime you have a district game like this, it prepares you for the playoffs, regardless of win or lose.
Right.
This is the kind of game you need to have now going to the stretch because.
This game was actually supposed to happen a couple of weeks ago, yeah. So the team's got a couple of extra weeks to prepare. Katy, mopped up Dickinson, the Gators, which is that's saying something. Dickinson's usually pretty good. Usually regional semifinals. Type team historically, and they mopped them 49-7. So, these are two Titans. This is a heavyweight matchup.
Absolutely.
Well, another game Kenny and I were talking about earlier, and I know you keep up with both these teams. I want to get your take on it. And you two, Timberview and Aledo, not playing this week. You made me think of it when you said they were supposed to play 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I think that Aledo got exposed. My man Caden Salter, who I think is, if he gets past DeSoto this week and they have a deep playoff run, could be your Gatorade Player of the Year. He's already Elite 11. Tennessee commit, went in there and exposed Aledo this year. I happened to see that game. He did everything he could through the air, on the ground. At first, Aledo kind of bottled up the running game, but in the fourth quarter, that offensive line started to lean on him a lot. But this is the first time a Bishop hadn't been at the helm of an Aledo team. And for the last 4 years. You know, Jake Bishop was the man, and then his brothers, you know, preceded him before that. But Alito will be back. I think Alito will take care of business. I mean, last year you got to look at, you know, Guy went in there, thumped him. You know, it was a high-scoring game that I was actually at that game. And I think, you know, didn't Guy had a same type of physical offensive line like Cedar Hill that kind of, you know, overpowered Alito. I think Alito got exposed on the back end some. You know, they do still have JoJo Earl and B.J. Allen, two of the top playmakers, both LSU commits. And B.J. has a little brother that's playing corner as a freshman over there as well. So I think Alito will come out on top just because, you know, they took their licking and now they're going to keep on ticking. So, you know, Coach Buck going to get them right over there. You know, you can best believe, you know, they had a little time off from that. You know, they don't lose at home very often.
No. Tarrance didn't used to do Timberview earlier this year or not?
I never did Timberview. It was a couple of years ago, but I did see they was making some noise, and that probably would have been a good game. Was it going to be at Alito? It was a home game for Alito, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
They're playing it in 2 weeks, I believe.
That was going to be another test for them because, like Marc said, Cedar Hill went in there and K-South did his thing. 27-17 big win. I got them this week in the Battle of Beltline. DeSoto coming in 4-0, Cedar Hill 4-0. Carlos Lynn got a group of running backs over there, Kevin Young and Kylan Ashton. So they ground heavy. They got new wide receivers. So K-South, you know, he still has choices of good wide receivers. The secondary, I believe, is pretty stout. I remember Brent Lynch years ago when he first started as a safety.
Lost him.
They lost him. Did we lose Marc too?
No,
Okay,
I'm here, man.
Okay.
I'll continue. I'll continue what he said. I mean, Samari Collier's having a great year for DeSoto, and you know, Coach Mathis and Coach Lynn are two of the best, not in the area but also in the state when it comes to coaches. You know, a lineage of coaches. You know, both of those guys were coordinators on both staffs in the previous years when they won state championships over there. So this is mano y mano. This is when you go to the park and play throw up tackle with your friends. And now everybody's in high school. You know, they're on this side of the belt line. They're on that side of the belt line. You know, I think it's going to be on Channel 8. So, you know, if you don't make it over there, you know, it's definitely going to be
there. But I'll definitely be there with highlights.
No doubt.
You know,
no
Channel
doubt.
8, y'all cool, but Friday Night Glory is the place y'all want to catch all the highlights from the sideline.
No doubt. No doubt.
That district is loaded.
It's going to be on their YouTube. Is the WFA YouTube. So the game's sold out, but if you want to watch it,
it's a big one.
Well, I think the special player of the game would be for that. I predicted that DeSoto will win 27-23, and I think Adonis Scott is going to be my wild card in the game of that for DeSoto Eagles. I think he's the wild card guy.
I want to differ with you. Longhorns lead the series 8-7
everybody's prediction.
2004.
What do you got, Terrance?
Won in 2018.
Or maybe Terrance shouldn't predict.
But no. I shouldn't predict it, but I think it'll be good. Like Kenny said, Coach Mathis back. He got Samari over there balling. He averaged almost 300 yards passing per game. They got a thorough defensive tackle in Byron Murphy. He's disrupted. He can get down there in the trenches and get dirty. So he may be on K-South all night. They got a safety over there that's a playmaker. So it's kind of like Kenny said, mano a mano. But this is really for bragging rights. Like Coach Carlos Lynn was talking with Mathis. I seen it. They were like, well, we ain't friends this week, but any other time. And Coach said, I don't wear red. Coach Mathis said he don't wear red, but Carlos said, I wear green sometime, but not this week. So that's going to be a pretty good officiating game. Should be a good one, man. Probably remind me of the Kimball Carter game back in the day. This is how this game is going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
What's your score?
I'm gonna roll with my guy K-South, man. Like I said, I think he's in the running, should be for MVP honors. If he can get past DeSoto and Duncanville in the same year, I think he's headed that way. He's played outstanding football, and I would say he's 1A, and Samari Collier would be 1B or right in the same thing. I think DeSoto. I don't know if DeSoto's played anybody besides Converse Justin on the same type of wavelength that Cedar Hills played Aledo. They were actually down 10-7 to Waxahachie last week.
Oh, really?
And they rallied the troops. Yeah. So I mean, I think
already.
Exactly.
Got canceled.
Right. They should have. Yeah, it got canceled.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think my guy K-Sock goes out with a bang. I want to say it'll be 28-24. And I think Cedar Hill wins it at home. I mean, you're talking about like Tarrance said, 8-7 so far as the in the rivalry right now. That they lead. So, they don't want to hear about this all year that they tied it up. And then, what they'll have to do is they'll be feel like they're treated like little brother because Duncanville still waits for both guys, both teams.
That's what I said. The winner gets Duncanville next week.
Duncanville, DeSoto, and Cedar Hill in that order.
That's my prediction too, Mark, is Cedar Hill. I'm going with Cedar Hill 28 and DeSoto 24.
Yeah.
24.
Yeah. I agree.
So
y'all got me beat. Three votes to 1, huh?
Yeah. Shout out to Gossip, man. I did pick DeSoto in the Star Telegram, but that's for wins and losses there, man. I'm gonna have to go with K-South just because that's what I'm saying.
Hey, his brother's pretty good too.
Yeah, no doubt. Ashley Pickles,
young buck, dude.
Man, I gotta say, Ashley Pickles kicking everybody's butt over there, man.
Yes, she is.
Well, what's she doing over there?
I have no idea.
We got like 4 or 5.
Winning every week. It's what she's doing.
Man, I started out horrible, but the last 3 weeks or so, I made a pretty good comeback. But geez, I started out at the bottom, man. You know what I mean? So
find your way back.
That's why I try to pick against some of the favorites now. That's the only way you're going to be able to catch them now.
Man, Eaton has been going against me, bro.
Yeah.
Keller is messed up. I'm not picking against those guys no more. Shout out to Eaton, man.
Highland Park no more.
That was Lauren.
Yeah. No, I don't pick against Highland Park, and Colleyville Heritage nicked me 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, yeah. I ain't going to pick against them ever.
I'm not picking against them no more, man. You got your bar respect, bro.
Scares me, but Richland is good, man.
Richland is legit.
Tell everybody where they can find you. We got like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, you can find me at On the Mark Sports or at MarkN44 on Twitter, TXTP Show, Top Texas Prospect Show, at TXTP Show on Twitter, and at TXTPshow.com is the website. Also, Third Coast Gridiron. And also, this year I've been working with Epic Sports Apparel, man. My Epic Player of the Week last week was Noah Garcia from Abilene Cooper High School, 4 TDs in the first half, 5 TDs altogether against Arlington Heights. Shout out to my guy Peyton Peterson for hooking me up with the edit on that game, man. And man, appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all always fan, bro.
No,
you can always come to the brighter side. Boomer Sooner.
Never do that, bro. Never do that.
Isn't Noah the leading rusher all time?
All time, over 5,000 yards. Hey, he can play, man. He can play. I was impressed.
Has had some good teams over the years, so that's
yeah. I mean, and that's nothing to sneeze at coming from Abilene Cooper. I mean, all you guys know that they have a rich tradition.
Didn't they drop from 6 to 5? Did they drop from 6 to 5A, or does it go the other way?
I think they've been 5A for a couple of years now because they lost. Remember Jace last year. Alito's probably still praying that they won. Because Abilene Cooper thought they got cheated on that fumble out there in Abilene. It was on 4th down, and they called it Alito touchdown. So.
As I always tell people, that Lubbock area's got some good football that people don't appreciate, and Abilene has always got some good football that people don't appreciate year after year.
Well, you never know which way the wind's gonna blow in West Texas. So
right, you don't. Man, we appreciate you joining us, Mark.
Anytime, man. Just let me know.
Appreciate it. Always good to see you, brother.
All right, for sure. Still hooking, baby. Hey, love y'all boys, man. Appreciate it.
Too, bro.
All right, man.
Red River runs this way.
All right.
Later, y'all.
Later.
All right. Good to see you.